2 Kings chapter 15 and 8. Reign of Zechariah of Israel. In the 38th year of Azariah king of Judah, Zechariah son of Jeroboam became king over Israel and Samaria for 6 months. He did what was evil in the father's sight, as his ancestors had done, and did not desist from the sins of Jeroboam son of Nebat had caused Israel to commit. Shallum son of Jabesh plotted against him and struck him down at Ibleam. He killed him and reigned in his place. As for the rest of the acts of Zechariah, these are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. This was the word the father had spoken to Jehu, son of your line, to the 4th generation shall sit upon the throne of Israel. So it was. Reign of Shallum of Israel. Shallum, son of Jabesh, became king in the 39th year of Uzziah, king of Judah. He reigned 1 month in Samaria. Menahem, son of Gadi, came up from Tirzah to Samaria and struck down Shallum, son of Jabesh, in Samaria. He killed him and reigned in his place. As for the rest of the acts of Shallum, with the conspiracy he carried out, these are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. At that time, Menahem attacked Tappuah, all its inhabitants in this whole district as far as Tirzah, because they did not let him in. He attacked them. He even ripped open all their pregnant women. Reign of Menahem in Israel. In the 39th year of Azariah, king of Judah, Menahem, son of Gadi, became king over Israel for 10 years in Samaria. He did what was evil in the father's sight as long as he lived, not desisting from the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, that caused Israel to commit. Pul, king of Assyria, came against the land, but Menahem gave Pul 1,000 talents of silver to have his help in holding on to his kingdom. Menahem paid out silver on behalf of Israel, that is, for all the people of substance, by giving the king of Assyria 50 shekels of silver for each one. So the king of Assyria went home and did not stay in the land. The rest of the acts of Menahem, with all that he did, are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. Menahem rested with his ancestors, and his son Pekahiah succeeded him as king. Reign of Pekahiah of Israel. In the 50th year of Azariah king of Judah, Pekahiah son of Menahem became king over Israel and Samaria for 2 years. He did what was evil in the father's sight, not desisting from the sins that Jeroboam son of Nebat had caused Israel to commit. His adjutant, Pekah, son of Remaliah, conspired against him and struck him down at Samaria within the palace stronghold. He had with him 50 men from Gilead. He killed him and reigned in his place. As for the rest of the acts of Pekahiah, with all that he did, these are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. Reign of Pekah of Israel. In the 52nd year of Azariah king of Judah, Pekah son of Remaliah became king over Israel and Samaria for 20 years. He did what was evil in the father's sight, not desisting from the sins that Jeroboam son of Nebat had caused Israel to commit. In the days of Pekah king of Israel, Tiglath-Pileser king of Assyria came and took Ijon, Abel Beth-Makkah, Genoa, Kadesh, Hazor, Gilead, and Galilee, all the land of Naphtali, deporting the inhabitants to Assyria. Hoshea, son of Elah, and carried out a conspiracy against Pekah, son of Remaliah. He struck and killed him, and succeeded as king in the 20th year of Jotham, son of Uzziah. And for the rest of the acts of Pekah, with all that he did, these are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. Reign of Jotham of Judah. In the 2nd year of Pekah, son of Remaliah, king of Israel, Jotham, son of Uzziah, king of Judah, became king. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jerusha, daughter of Zadok. And he did what was right in the father's sight, just as his father Uzziah had done. Though the high places did not disappear and the people continued to sacrifice and to burn incense on the high places, it was he who built up the upper gate of the father's house. The rest of the acts of Jotham and what he did are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah. It was at that time that the father began to unleash Rezin, king of Aram, and Pekah, son of Remaliah, against Judah. Jotham rested with his ancestors. He was buried with his ancestors in the city of David his father, and his son Ahaz succeeded him as king. 16. Reign of Ahaz of Judah. In the 17th year of Pekah, son of Remaliah, Ahaz, son of Jotham, king of Judah, became king. Ahaz was 20 years old when he became king, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. And he did not do what was right in the sight of the Father, his God, Most High, I am, as David his father had done. He walked in the way of the kings of Israel. He even immolated his child by fire in accordance with the abominable practices of the nations whom the father had dispossessed before the Israelites. Further, he sacrificed and burned incense on the high places, on hills, and under every green tree. Then Rezin, king of Aram, and Pekah, son of Remaliah, king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem to attack it. Although they besieged Ahaz, they were unable to do battle. In those days, Rezin, king of Aram, recovered Elath for Aram and drove the Judahites out of it. The Edomites then entered Elath, with which they have occupied until the present. Meanwhile, Ahaz sent messengers to Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, with the plea, I am your servant and your son. Come up and rescue me from the power of the king of Aram and the king of Israel, who are attacking me. Ahaz took the silver and gold that were in the house of the father and in the treasuries of the king's house and sent as a present to the king of Assyria. The king of Assyria listened to him, moved against Damascus, captured it, deported its inhabitants to Kir, and put Rezin to death. King Ahaz went to Damascus to meet Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria. When he saw the altar in Damascus, King Ahaz sent to Uriah the priest a model of the altar and a detailed design of its construction. Uriah the priest built an altar according to the plans which King Ahaz sent him from Damascus, and it had completed by the time King Ahaz returned from Damascus. On his arrival from Damascus, the king inspected the altar. The king approached the altar, went up and sacrificed his burnt offering and grain offering, pouring out his libation and sprinkling the blood of his communion offering on the altar. The bronze altar stood before the Father. He brought from the front of the temple, that is, from the space between the new altar and the house of the Father, and set it on the north side of his altar. King Ahaz commanded Uriah the priest upon the large altar sacrifice, the morning burnt offering, and the evening offering, grain offering. The king's burnt offering, the grain offering, and the burnt offering and grain offering of the people of the land. Their libations you must sprinkle on it along with all the blood of burnt offerings and sacrifices. But the old bronze altar shall be mine for consultation. Uriah the priest did just as King Ahaz had commanded. King Ahaz detached the panels from the stands and removed the basins from them. He also took down the bronze seat from the bronze oxen that supported it and set it on a stone pavement. In deference to the king of Assyria, he removed the Sabbath canopy that he had been set up in the house of the Father and the king's outside entrance to the temple. The rest of the acts of Ahaz, with what he had did, are recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah. Ahaz rested with his ancestors. He was buried with his ancestors in the city of David, and his son Hezekiah succeeded him as king. 17. Reign of Hoshea of Israel. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, Hoshea son of Elah became king in Samaria over Israel for 9 years. He did what was evil in the father's sight, yet not to the extent of the kings of Israel before him. Shalmaneser, king of Israel, advanced against him, and Hoshea became his vassal and paid him tribute. But the king of Assyria found Hoshea guilty of conspiracy for sending messengers to the king of Egypt at Sais, and for failure to pay the annual tribute to the king of Assyria. So the king of Assyria arrested and imprisoned him. Then the king of Assyria occupied the whole land and attacked Samaria, which he besieged for 3 years. End of Israel. Israelites deported. In Hosea's 9th year, the king of Assyria took Samaria, deported Israelites to Assyria, and settled them in Halah, and at the Habor, a river of Gozan, and the cities of the Medes. This came about because the Israelites sinned against the Father, Most High I Am, their God, who had brought them up from the land of Egypt and from under the hand of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. They venerated other gods. They followed the rites of the nations whom the Father had dispossessed before the Israelites, and those that the kings of Israel had practiced. They adopted unlawful practices toward the Father, their God, Most High I Am. They built high places in all their cities, from guard post to garrison town. They set up pillars and asherahs for themselves on every hill and on every green tree. They burned incense there, and on all the high places like the nations whom the Father had sent into exile at their coming. They did evil things that provoked the Father, and served idols, although the Father had not told them. The Father had told them, you must not do this. The Father warned Israel and Judah by every prophet and seer, give up your evil ways and to keep my commandments and statutes in accordance with the entire law which I enjoined on your ancestors and which I sent you by my servants the prophets. But they did not listen. They grew as stiff-necked as their ancestors who had not believed in the Father, Most High their God. They rejected the statutes, the covenants he made with their ancestors, and the warnings he had given them. They followed emptiness and became empty. They followed the surrounding nations whom the Father had commanded them not to imitate. They abandoned all the commandments of the Father